On January 18th, 2025, TikTok users received this message. We regret that a U.S. law banning TikTok will take effect on January 19th and force us to make our services temporarily unavailable. We're working to restore our service in the U.S. as soon as possible, and we appreciate your support. Please stay tuned. A few hours later, another notice appeared. A law banning TikTok has been enacted in the U.S. Unfortunately, that means you can't use TikTok for now. We are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned. And as of January 19th, 2025, the last notice was given. Thank you for your patience and support. As a result of President Trump's efforts, TikTok is back in the United States. You can continue to create, share, and discover all the things you love on TikTok. If you're feeling confused about the entire situation, you're not alone. Why is TikTok thanking the president for returning the app to the States when he was the one who proposed banning it in the first place? If you're not super in tune in politics, like most of my friends are, you might not fully know the full context of this situation. Back in August of 2020, Donald Trump took executive action to ban TikTok. The demands given to TikTok were that they sell their company and information to an American-owned business in 45 days, or they would be banned. In August of 2020, President Trump issued an executive order finding that the spread in the United States of mobile applications developed and owned by companies in China continues to threaten the national security, foreign policy, and economy of the United States. So basically, U.S. figures in government positions either needed a separate phone just for TikTok, or it's completely banned on their personal device. Project Texas was developed between TikTok and the government in tandem to enforce national security. Access to protected U.S. user data and the systems that power TikTok in the U.S. are monitored and tightly controlled by TikTok USDS employees. We are designing our systems to store by default U.S. user data within the U.S. government that allows us to strictly control and monitor that data. We have stringent access to control measures. The processes that determine what people see and don't see on TikTok will be continuously reviewed, tested, and monitored by third-party or foreign influences. So basically, the whole point of Project Texas was to help America and the American government feel better about where their data is being stored, so there isn't foreign influences meddling with their data. If you're really curious about the legal aspects of everything that happened in this situation, the TikTok Inc. versus Garland court case goes in depth on exactly what happened and what middle ground was reached. If you're really interested, I can link the court case documents below. The issue with TikTok is, like every other business and social media platform, lots and lots of personal data is collected. Your name, your phone number, where you live, and all of your interests are very quickly catered and filtered to place you in your specialized echo chamber. The info can be used to advertise products that are specialized to you, and ultimately, the number one priority of the app is to get users to stay on the app as long as possible to bring in money for advertisers and to keep viewers engaged. That is the whole purpose of most social media platforms. The data that these social media companies harvest could potentially be sold, leaked to other platforms, and potentially hacked by third parties. But unsurprisingly, every other social media app that isn't TikTok has been doing the exact same thing for a very long time. Mark Zuckerberg has also been raked over the coals by the US government for collecting data without complete transparency. Facebook was able to collect information from its users all over the web, such as Google, YouTube, etc. They use this information to advertise what you can buy and cater posts and content to your specific niche. And the terms of service of Facebook says that if any third party gets a hold of this information, they can't be held accountable. So when you create a social media account, you're essentially signing a waiver to your privacy and security of everything you do on the internet. Every Google search, every website you browse, it's all publicly available, essentially. One of these third parties that has access to your web browsing and information online is the US government. This is currently public knowledge, but it wasn't always. A rogue whistleblower from 2013 made this fact public and is now the enemy of the state and is no longer allowed in the United States. Edward Snowden was described as a computer geek that grew up on the internet before everyone was tech savvy. He said he spent a lot of his time in chat rooms and speaking with people of all sorts of views that he would have never have encountered on his own. Snowden eventually got a job in the US government in the NSA, but while working in his position, he was forced to battle with a moral dichotomy. Snowden revealed classified documents exposing the government of logging the information harvested, and the government was harvesting all this information from people's home devices. He also exposed something referred to as the Prism NSA program. It was means by which all of this information harvesting was done. This information was tracked by the government and surveilled. And this guy, this random NSA worker, was so disturbed by the information that he made these documents public and shared them to the news and fled to Russia to evade getting imprisoned for life. To summarize what exactly Prism is in the most simplistic way, it is a company that compiles all the information from all the different web platforms and surveys civilians. They survey their web browsing and their information and just compiles it for the government to use however they want. Once all this information was made public, the director of the ACLU, Center for Democracy, voiced his concern. He claimed that it was astonishing the NSA would even ask technology companies to grant and direct access to user data. To quote him exactly, "It's shocking enough that the NSA is asking companies to do this," he said. "The NSA is a part of the military. The military has been granted unprecedented access to civilian communications. This is unprecedented militarization of domestic communications infrastructure. That is profoundly troubling to anyone who is concerned about that separation." But this guy, Edward Snowden, who grew up using the internet, he found a lot of value in it and really valued basic privacy. And being surveilled was very morally offensive to him. He says he doesn't see himself as a hero, and he says what he is doing is self-interested. He doesn't want to live in the world where there's no privacy and therefore no room for intellectual exploration and creativity. He claims that what the NSA is doing poses an existential threat to democracy. I don't want to go into a whole tangent of whether he is a hero or a villain, or if he did the right thing, or if he was like a traitor to democracy or whatever. That's a whole entire conversation in and of itself. I kind of just want to bring up what he found and talk about the information he found and sacrificed his entire life as a regular citizen for. So, this information came out, and the entire American public had 100% proof that their data and information is being tracked and stored by our government. How does this impact the regular American's use of internet today? What did this man sacrifice his entire life and career for? To be honest, not much. People take a sacrifice for granted. It's a common internet meme of my FBI agent or your assigned FBI agent that is personally going to track you. It's a funny joke, but it's not entirely accurate. There's not enough government employees to even make that possible, to be surveilling every single citizen 24/7. The joke isn't entirely baseless, but it is an extreme exaggeration. But this can very easily be done. The government has access to all of the data on the internet and all of your information on your computer or your laptop or your cell phone. The government has all of it. So what do? Well, you can definitely choose to completely cut yourself off from the internet, delete every social media account, wipe your information entirely, and avoid any internet use to keep yourself safe and untraceable. Which, yes, this would keep you safe and prevent you from getting your information stolen or getting stuck into echo chambers where you are only getting information catered towards your predispositions and the data collected from you as a person, just getting super personalized content. If you want to avoid that, then completely cutting yourself off from the internet would be the ideal and safest solution. But so many people, especially people of my generation, grew up online, and some of us met our lifelong friends because of the internet. My cosplaying and furry community would never exist without the creation of the internet. Small businesses make their incomes off the platforms like TikTok, and the internet really links you with people with your same interests that you might never find in your regular hometown or day-to-day life. Voices that would otherwise be unheard would be uplifted, whether for good or for evil. Most Americans don't want to live in a state of perpetual fear of being monitored by the government. We want to watch our silly animal videos and our viral dances. Gen Z grew up with access to all the information in the world at our fingertips and copious amounts of instant dopamine. So when the government threatens to take away their dopamine app, we react by complaining and catastrophizing. Despite the fear of China gathering data the government had been warning us about, many users are switching to an even more Chinese app in response. But yeah, there's not really a final conclusion. Information has been coming out every few hours, and as of writing this, it's January 20th of 2025, and my friends and I are just confused on what's going on, and we're just kind of exhausted by the sheer amount of information coming out every couple hours. And my friends and I are just really tired and depressed and just kind of want our escapism and our vices and our cosplaying. But I'm hoping going down this brief little timeline of internet history opens the conversation and maybe gives more context to how we got here and how TikTok even got banned in the first place. So that's the end of my video. This is the first ever video on this channel, and I've never made a video essay on YouTube before, and I'm not gonna lie, this wasn't really what I wanted to make at first. But I really wanted to just get these thoughts out of my head and start this conversation with other people in my community, other furries, and people on the internet. I want to know how you guys think of the situation. Are any of you at all concerned on how the internet is handling your information? Are you just switching to Red Note? I would really, really like to know what you guys think. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you're interested in watching more furry-centered content, I'm probably going to make more of that in the future. More fandom-targeted videos. But yeah, bye.